I couldn't breathe, and the only person who could save me was telling them not to. That was the moment everything stopped making sense. Have you ever felt your body shutting down, but your mind still screaming? That's where I was, trapped somewhere between awareness and nothing. The pavement beneath me felt ice cold, even through my clothes. My fingers wouldn't move. My chest barely rose. And then, sirens. Distant at first, then louder, closer, urgent. Help was coming. Or at least, it should have been. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Red lights flashed across the street, bouncing off windows, cutting through the blur in my vision. Shapes moved quickly. Paramedics rushing toward me, voices overlapping. "Stay with us. Can you hear me? Pulse is weak." I tried to answer, I really did, but my mouth wouldn't cooperate. My tongue felt heavy, like it didn't belong to me anymore. Then everything shifted. A voice cut through the chaos, sharp, controlled, unmistakable. "Don't touch her." Everything froze. The paramedics hesitated. Actually hesitated. And I knew that voice. Marissa, my sister. She stepped in front of them. I couldn't see clearly, but I didn't need to. I knew that posture. Rigid, certain, unmovable. "You're not touching her," she repeated, louder this time. What? Why would she say that? A paramedic tried to move around her. "Ma'am, we need to—" "No!" Her voice didn't shake, not even a little. "She just needs a minute." A minute? A minute for what? I was fading. Did she not see that? Or did she? That thought hit harder than anything else, because Marissa wasn't panicking. She wasn't crying. She wasn't begging them to save me. She was controlling the situation. And that's when something cold settled in my chest. Something deeper than fear. This wasn't confusion. This was intentional. The seconds stretched painfully. Each breath felt thinner than the last. The world dimmed at the edges, like someone slowly turning down the lights. "Her vitals are dropping," one paramedic said, urgency creeping into his voice. "We need access, now." Marissa stepped closer, blocking them again. "No." Just one word. Calm. Firm. Final. Why? That question echoed in my mind, over and over, louder than the sirens, louder than the voices around me. Why would my own sister stop them? Fragments of memory flickered. Arguments, tension, the way she always insisted she knew what was best for me. Even when I disagreed. Even when it felt wrong. "She'll be fine," Marissa added. "You're overreacting." Overreacting? I couldn't feel my hands. My chest burned. And she was calling this an overreaction? Someone nearby gasped. A neighbor, maybe. I heard footsteps. A phone camera clicking on. "This isn't right," another voice muttered. No, it wasn't. And deep down, somewhere beneath the fading edges of my consciousness, I realized something terrifying. If they didn't get to me soon, I wasn't going to make it. Then, suddenly, a loud metallic sound cut through everything. The back door of the ambulance swung open. Heavy footsteps hit the pavement, slow, deliberate, different from the others. And then a voice, low, controlled, commanding. "Step away from her." Even in my fading state, something about that voice felt familiar. And for the first time since this started, Marissa hesitated. Step away from her. That voice. I knew it. Not just familiar, recognized. But from where? My vision pulsed in and out like a flickering light. Shapes blurred together, but I could make out one thing clearly. Marissa moved. Not much, just half a step back. But that alone didn't make sense, because Marissa never backed down. Marissa, the man said again, calmer this time, but somehow more intense. Move. He knew her name. That sent a ripple of confusion straight through me. Who was he? I forced my eyes to focus, just for a second. Long enough to catch a glimpse. Dark uniform, steady posture. Someone who didn't rush like the others. Ethan Cole, 28. Senior paramedic. The name clicked into place like something I should have remembered sooner. I'd seen him before. Not here, not like this. A few weeks ago. A smaller incident. Nothing serious. At least, that's what Marissa had said. I remembered sitting on the couch, dizzy, while Ethan asked me questions. Real questions. The kind Marissa kept answering for me. "You're fine," she had insisted back then. "She just gets like this sometimes." And I believed her. Didn't I? Now he was here again, and everything felt different. Marissa straightened her posture, trying to regain control. "I said she's fine." But something had shifted. Her voice, still firm, but thinner now. Like a crack had formed beneath the surface. Ethan didn't argue. Didn't raise his voice. He stepped closer instead. "She's not fine." Simple. Direct. Final. The air tightened. One of the other paramedics glanced between them, uncertain. "Ethan, we need—" "I know." He cut in quietly, never taking his eyes off Marissa. That's when I saw it. Marissa wouldn't look at him. Not directly. Her eyes kept darting, toward me, toward the ground, anywhere but him. Why? My thoughts felt heavy, slow, but one question kept pushing through. Why was she avoiding him? "You're overstepping," Marissa snapped, trying to regain control. "She's my responsibility." Responsibility. The word hung there. Ethan tilted his head slightly. "Is she?" That landed differently. Not loud, not aggressive, but precise. Like he knew something the rest of us didn't. My heartbeat stuttered. What did that mean? Marissa took another step, closer to me this time. Protective, defensive, blocking again. "She just needs rest," she insisted. "You're making it worse." Worse? How could saving me make anything worse? Unless she didn't want me saved. The thought hit hard enough to cut through the fog in my head. No, that couldn't be right. Could it? My chest tightened. Breathing became sharper, more painful. Voices around me blurred again, but I caught fragments. Oxygen. Not responding. We're losing time. Time. That word kept coming back, and we were running out of it. Ethan stepped even closer now, close enough that Marissa had no choice but to face him. Finally, eye contact. And in that split second, I saw it. Not anger, not fear. Something else. Recognition. And underneath it, panic. Real panic. "You need to move," Ethan said again, softer this time. Marissa's lips parted slightly, like she was about to argue again, but instead, she leaned in, closer to him, close enough that her voice dropped to a whisper, I couldn't hear all of it, just a fragment. Just enough. You don't know what she's done. My mind froze. What? What did that mean? What had I done? And why did it sound like a warning, not to protect me, but to stop them? You don't know what she's done. That sentence didn't just hang in the air, it cut through it. What had I done? My thoughts scrambled, slow and heavy, like trying to run through water. Nothing made sense. I couldn't even piece together the last few hours, let alone something that would justify this. Because that's what this was now. Not confusion, not panic. This felt like something else entirely. And Ethan, he didn't react the way I expected. He didn't ask, "What do you mean?" He didn't look surprised. If anything, he looked like he'd been waiting for her to say it. You really want to go with that? He replied quietly. Calm, controlled, dangerously certain. That's when everything shifted. The other paramedics stopped hesitating. You could feel it, the moment uncertainty turned into decision. Bag valve, one of them said quickly. Vitals dropping, now. Equipment snapped open, movements sharpened. Focus locked back onto me. Finally. Help. But Marissa... She moved again. Faster this time. No, she snapped, stepping directly between me and the stretcher they were trying to position. I said don't touch her. This wasn't protective anymore. This was obstruction. Clear. Intentional. And now everyone saw it. Ma'am, you need to step aside, one paramedic said, firmer now. You don't understand, Marissa shot back, her voice rising for the first time. If you interfere... If we don't, another paramedic cut in sharply. She's not going to make it. Silence. Just for a second. But it was enough. Because Marissa didn't respond right away. And that hesitation, it said everything. My breathing hitched, shallow, uneven. My chest felt like it was collapsing inward, each inhale weaker than the last. I was running out of time. And she knew it. So why? Why wasn't she moving? Across the street, someone whispered, Why is she stopping them? Another voice, Is she serious right now? A phone lifted higher, recording everything. The pressure was building, not just on me, on her. But instead of backing down, Marissa doubled down. If you touch her, she said slowly, her voice dropping into something colder. You'll regret it. A threat. Clear. Public. Unmistakable. The paramedics exchanged looks. This wasn't standard anymore. This wasn't just a difficult family member. This was something else. Something wrong. And then, Ethan moved. Not quickly, not aggressively, but with absolute certainty. He stepped forward, closing the distance between them completely. Marissa, he said, his voice low but carrying through the tension. I know what you did. Everything stopped. Even the air felt still. Marissa didn't move, didn't speak, didn't breathe. Her entire body locked in place, like she'd just been caught in something she couldn't talk her way out of. And in that moment, I felt it. That shift, the truth pressing in from all sides. Because whatever this was, whatever he knew, it was the reason I was lying here, fading. And suddenly, for the first time since this started, I wasn't just scared of dying. I was scared of her. I know what you did. The words didn't echo. They landed, heavy, final, unavoidable. And just like that, everything went quiet. No one spoke. No one moved. Even the distant sounds, the sirens, the murmurs, the shifting feet of neighbors gathering across the street, faded into something distant and unreal. Because all of it, every second of chaos, collapsed into that one moment. Marissa froze. Completely. Her shoulders stiffened. Her hands, which had been trembling just seconds ago, went still at her sides. Her face, tight, controlled, cracked just enough to reveal something underneath. Not anger. Not fear. Something colder. Calculation. "What are you talking about?" she said finally. But it came out wrong. Too quick. Too rehearsed. Ethan didn't answer right away. He watched her, like he was giving her one last chance to stop. She didn't take it. Behind them, one of the paramedics stepped in carefully, testing the space, seeing if she'd block again. This time, she didn't move. Not immediately. That hesitation was all they needed. "Go," Ethan said quietly, without looking away from her. And just like that, hands were on me, gloves, firm, fast, focused. The stretcher slid into place beneath me, straps tightened across my chest. Someone lifted my head gently. "Oxygen, now." A mask pressed against my face. Cool air rushed in. It felt like drowning, in reverse. Painful, sharp, but necessary. My lungs struggled to catch up, dragging in shallow breaths that slowly started to deepen. Voices overlapped again, but clearer now. "We've got her. Stay with us. Come on, breathe." I tried. I really tried. But my eyes, my focus, they stayed locked on Marissa. Because she wasn't looking at me anymore. She was looking at Ethan. And whatever passed between them in that moment, it wasn't over. "You don't understand," Marissa said, her voice quieter now, but more desperate. "I was helping her." Helping. That word twisted in my chest. Helping? Ethan finally stepped closer again, just enough to lower his voice, but not enough to hide it. "No," he said. "You were controlling her." Silence. A different kind this time. Because that word, it fit. Too well. And suddenly, pieces started shifting in my mind, small things, weird things, things I hadn't questioned before. The way Marissa handled my medication, the way she insisted on managing everything, the times I felt off and she told me it was normal. The way she always knew exactly what I needed, or said she did. My stomach dropped. No, that wasn't. Was it? "Let's move!" someone called. The stretcher lifted. The world tilted as they rushed me toward the ambulance. Lights blurred overhead. The skies spun slightly, fading at the edges. I was slipping again, fast. But now it wasn't just confusion. It was realization. Something had been wrong for a while, and I hadn't seen it. Or maybe I hadn't been allowed to. As they loaded me into the ambulance, I caught one last glimpse of Marissa, standing there, watching, not crying, not running, just watching. Like she was already somewhere else in her mind, calculating what came next. The doors slammed shut. Darkness crept in again, heavier this time. Voices became distant, muffled. "Stay with me. Hey, stay with me." I tried to hold on, tried to piece it together, tried to understand. What did she do to me? And then, everything went black. The first thing I felt was air. Real air. Steady, cool, controlled. Not forced, not fading, just there. And then came the sound. A soft, rhythmic beeping. Consistent, measured, alive. My eyes opened slowly, like they weren't sure they wanted to yet. The ceiling above me was stark white, too bright, too clean. For a second, I didn't remember where I was. Then it hit me. The street, the sirens, Marissa. My chest tightened, but this time I could breathe through it. A voice broke in gently. "Hey, easy." I turned my head slightly. A doctor stood nearby, watching carefully. "You're in the hospital. You're safe." Safe. The word felt unfamiliar. "How long?" My voice barely worked. "About 9 hours," he said. "You gave us a scare." 9 hours. 9 hours since everything went dark. "What happened?" I asked. And this time, they answered. Clearly. Completely. No hesitation. "You were experiencing a severe reaction to inconsistent medication levels," the doctor explained. "Specifically, your prescription had been altered, dosages changed in a way that caused your system to destabilize over time." I stared at him, not fully understanding. "Altered? How?" A pause, not long, just enough to make it heavier. "Someone had been adjusting what you were taking," he said carefully. "Increasing some doses, skipping others, creating a buildup that your body couldn't handle anymore." My stomach dropped. No, that didn't. But it did. Because there was only one person who handled my medication. Marissa. The room felt colder. "She said she was helping," I whispered. The doctor didn't respond to that, because he didn't need to. Later, I got the full picture, not from one person, but from all of it coming together. Ethan had recognized the pattern the second time he saw me. Weeks ago, during that minor incident, things hadn't lined up. My symptoms didn't match what I'd been prescribed. He flagged it, quietly. Didn't accuse, just noted it. And when the call came in again, my name, my address, he connected it instantly. That's why he stepped in. That's why he didn't hesitate. And that's why Marissa tried to stop him. Because if they treated me, if they tested me, it would come out. Everything. The investigation moved fast. Too fast for anything to be hidden. The medication bottles, the dosage inconsistencies, the timeline, and the witnesses. Neighbors who saw her block the paramedics. The footage from phones. The audio of her refusing help. It all stacked up. Marissa was taken in for questioning that same night, and this time, she couldn't control the narrative. They said she admitted to it, partially. Not as harm, never as harm. She called it adjusting, improving, helping me get better faster. But the reality was simple. She made medical decisions she wasn't qualified to make. She altered something that required precision. And when it started going wrong, she didn't stop. She tried to control it, even at the cost of my life. The legal process started soon after. Charges weren't immediate, but they were serious. Medical tampering, endangerment, possibly more. Our parents, they were shattered, split between disbelief and reality, trying to understand how one daughter nearly lost her life because of the other. And me? I had to sit with something heavier than all of it. Not just what she did, but what it meant. Weeks later, when I was finally stable enough to leave, they asked if I wanted to see her. One time. Controlled setting. Supervised. I said yes. Not for closure, not for forgiveness, just clarity. She looked the same. That was the strangest part. Same posture, same eyes. But something behind them was different, less certain. "You're okay?" she said when she saw me. Like that was the only thing that mattered. I didn't sit down. I almost wasn't. Silence. "I was helping you," she said again. The same words, the same belief, unchanged. And that's when I understood something clearly. She wasn't lying. She actually believed it. And that made it worse. Because it meant she never saw the line she crossed. "You didn't help me," I said. My voice didn't shake. "You controlled me." She didn't respond. Didn't argue. For the first time, she had nothing left to say. When I walked out of that room, it didn't feel dramatic. It didn't feel like relief. It felt final. Recovery wasn't instant. Physically, I had to rebuild strength, regulate everything again, be monitored. But emotionally, that took longer. Trust doesn't come back the same, not after something like that. But here's what did change. I make my own decisions now, about my health, about my life, about who gets to be involved. Because control and care, they are not the same thing. And I learned that the hardest way possible. The day I stepped out of the hospital, the air felt different. Not because it had changed, but because I had. And this time, every breath I took was mine.